There's going to be a possible long here on both ES and NQ. Nice supply zone right there. I mean demand zone, supply zone on the 15 and the 5. So if you get a buyer bar on any of these, we're probably going to go long here. Yep, no signal, so no long. But you can see the volume here on the ES here. You see this blue thing here? That's a lot of volume right there on the top of this bar. So it's likely going to pull back here on the ES. It's going to come back, probably going to test this 59.97 if it doesn't break through. A lot of volume here on the ES here at this level right here. 5,700. Nice 23% retracement on the ES here. A lot of volume on the NQ as well, right? You see these blue lines. So there's the rejection, hopefully here on the reversal bar here on the ES here. As you can see, a lot of volume traded right here. A lot of volume traded that's here as well on the NQ. Again, testing this volume right here on ES. NQ just kind of above it. So you can see the POC here on this 15. The 5 minutes looking kind of bearish. Yeah, ES is struggling here on the 5 minute. Again, a lot of volume right there. About 5704 area. Yeah, no signal so far. Looks like NQ is gonna go and test the VWAP here. This is yesterday's VWAP on the RTH session. A lot of volume right here. It's gonna come back to the test this POC here on the ES right here. Alright, possible long here. Probably gonna take it. So far so good. Stop right here, just in case it comes back. A lot of volume down here. Do you see that right here, blue? So I see this little breakout. There you go, nice target. So the reason I took that trade, so I got a confirmation bar here. It's a buyer bar, right? It has the blue cyan color right there, right? So the rule is basically, if the situation based on the 15-minute charts look good, put a stop limit or stop market one tick above the high of the bar here. My target was just here, and my stop was just below this entry bar there. So that was good for $600 there. Okay, here's a short here on Here's a short on NQ. This is not a good short, just because you're coming into a. So normally, I'm not gonna take this trade, but right here, that's a short. But that's a bad short, just because you see there's a zone right here, right? There's a POC zone right there. So there's gonna be buyers probably sitting there. So risk reward is not there. So I'm not taking this short here on the 5 minute. Similar to the ES, right? So I mean NQ, right? On the 5 minute NQ here, this is not a good short because you have a zone right here, and you have a lot of volume underneath that, right? You see all the blue stuff here, all the traded volume. So if you take the short here, it has to break through this zone, it has to break through this zone, it has to break through the VWAP, which is pretty hard to do. So yeah, no short, and the short just got nullified just because this bar here broke above the entry bar of the seller bar right here, which is the purple bar that you see here. So it would have been invalidated anyway. So the trade would not have happened even if you did place a trade there. So you're gonna, yeah, it looks like there's gonna be a rotation back down here. It's gonna come back probably down to here. There's a new zone that got created on the 5 minute. You got some rejection up here on the 15, right? Here's the N, here's the ES. It's hitting VWAP, right? NQ also hit VWAP. So it looks like it's gonna rotate back down. This entry, this bar here, this seller bar is no longer valid just because this bar here broke the high of this bar. So it's invalidated. Even if it did not break that high of this bar here, I would not have taken this trade just because there's a POC zone right there, right on the flag. And you see a lot of volume building up here once it pushed it up. So we had a nice little trade here on the breakout. My target was just up here on this pivot. It's probably gonna come up and close the gap here. We'll see. But you got a lot of resistance up here. Same thing with the ES, right? You're at a pretty big level here. So there you go. Rotations coming back down here on the ES anyway. I mean on the NQ. ES is still bullish, right? I don't see a rounding pattern on the ES as I see on the NQ. But NQ did create a zone up here. It's overextended right now on the 5 minute on the NQ. Same with the ES, right? It's kind of overextended. So I'm looking for a basically just a reversal here. We'll see if we get a next signal here. So this signal on the 5 minute was a good signal, right? Came to a target up here. ES is just very bullish right now. There you go. Someone sold another 100 lot right there. Looks like it's going to come up and fill the gap here. There you go. NQ filled the gap. And ES is going to fill the gap here as well. So it looks like NQ's uh, is about to hit the 2000 here. So the 2000 happens to be on the 61% retracement. So let's see what happens. See if there's a reaction right here. So there's two confluents, right? There's the 20,000 and there's the 61.8 retracement right here. That's a big number there, 2000. It is very extended right now on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, there's 100 order lot that was filled there on the ES here. 5740. So the only signal we got today was the long here on the NQ. Took it for $200 right here to this target. This signal here on the NQ on the seller bar is invalidated just because this bar here broke the high of the signal bar here. And then, yeah, this was a confirmation here on the 5-minute buyer bar, right? So as soon as the price breaks this bar here, you take the long. Okay, so you got a signal on the 5 minute for the long. I'm not gonna take it. You're inside a zone there, right? Same thing on the 5 minute here. You got the signal to go long, but again, you're coming into a lot of a supply zone here, so no trade there. Right. So even if you did place your stop market or stop limit on top of the 5 minute here, that would have been invalidated just because it never broke the high, right? So there would have been no trade anyway, even if you did take, even if you put a stop market uh, on that bar there. That trade would have been invalidated just because it broke the low of the bar of the buyer bar. So yeah, there's no trade there at all, right? All right, so you got signal for short here on the ES. So let's take a look at this. So yeah, I will likely take this short. Right, you hit the supply zone. My target will be back to previous day's open, 57.29. So I'm gonna put a short here. And we'll see what happens. So if if this bar here breaks this entry bar, this trade's no longer valid. We'll see what happens. I do see a pivot here. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, so if it breaks this here, I'm just gonna go ahead and close out this short here. Okay, so it broke it. No trade there. Yeah, this thing keeps on going up. So on the 15 here on the ES, there's a unfilled gap here. So it looks like it's going to break this high. Find liquidity up here on the top, and then whether it's going to go up or down, not too sure. Take a look at NQ, right? It took out this liquidity low, couldn't find any more liquidity, pushed it all the way back up. So it's going to go ahead and try to poke on the high here on the 15 minute, right? It's going to try to poke this. There's a supply zone right there. A lot of volume right here. So I'm just going to mark that. That's a lot of volume there, right? So we'll see what happens when it gets up here. Possible short here on NQ on the 5 minute, just because you can see the POC at the top here. It's coming down, but the problem is I probably will not take this trade. The POC is right there on this bar here, and there's a zone here, right? Unfilled zone. So this, if this trigger, I probably will not take that short, but I will take a short on ES, right? Because the next zone is right down here, 57.47.50. So if this triggers and good enough risk reward, I might take this short on the ES. But again, there's another zone right here, right? This is the 15 minute on the ES. So I'm getting ready for the ES. I'm not going to take the NQ just because the POZ zone's right here, right? There's a lot of zones underneath it. But ES looks a little bit weaker. So if I do get a signal, I will probably go short on ES here. So we'll see. So you got 6 seconds left. If I get a signal here or a sell bar, I will go short. And I did not, right? So that's a doji. There's no signal. So no short. So right here, this is not a short for me. Plus, there's no signal there anyway. There's a signal here. Didn't take this one just because it broke the low before it went up, right? So this would have been a nice long if it didn't break this bar low here on the NQ. This one here, let's just recap. This one here, we took this trade here. Place the stop buy market, top of this bar. We went just on the 50% retracement here as a target. Should have just kept it, huh? Again, you don't know that, right? So yeah, so we'll see if this is going to be a reversal here, right? This looks very bearish to me on the ES, right? On the 5 minute, right? You got a nice doji bar here, nice low hammer. If there was a signal there, I would have taken it, but there was no signal, so did not take that. So if you look at the NQ on the 5 minute, right, it took out this liquidity high. You see this right here? It took it out, right? So now I'm assuming it's going to rotate back down. There's no more liquidity up here, right? You got a zone right here. You got a zone right there. You got a lot of supply zone right here. A lot of volume right here at this. See this blue line right here? That's a lot of volume traded right there. So we'll see what happens when it comes back down here. But it's extended on the 5 minute. It's very extended. So ES here, coming back down. Again, no signal yet, right? I'm just waiting for the buyer seller bar, right? Which is the purple and the blue. So we're just gonna sit and wait here, see what happens next. There's nothing to do here right now, right? On the 5 minute, it's pretty bullish. A lot of supply zone here. NQ here, ES here. It's probably gonna come down to the zone right here. You see this blue zone? We'll see what happens when it reacts to it. But again, there's nothing to do right now. This could be a good long here. If it holds this level right here. You can see the POC, right? Below the bar here, right? It's in a zone, in a tested zone. So it'll be interesting if I get a signal here to go long. Do I go long, right? Like I said, the 5 minutes is so overextended right now. It's tough to go long. Okay, so there's another zone that I've created. So it's bearish right now on the 5 minute. Again, I didn't get a signal, so I'm not taking this trade. Take a look at where it's coming back to, right? The POC on the 15 minute here, right? So there's going to be some buyers sitting there scooping up, sellers. So take a look at what happened on the ES, right? It came right down to the zone right here on the 5 minute and bounced right back up. So this zone is holding pretty nicely. Now to come back to a fresh demand zone, a supply zone here. See what happens here. See if it gets rejected on the ES right here. Yeah, so this is the ES chart here. We'll see what happens. So what this tells me is basically it's going to be choppy right here in this level right here. Because you have a lot of demand zone. You got one demand zone here which held pretty nicely. And you got a lot of supply zone up here that just got generated, right? Same thing with ES, right? You'll see some tested supply zone, some tested demand zone, and they're just going to fight it out and see what happens. Yeah, this zone here held on the ES, right? Now can I break through all this here? So this is a no zone trade for me because you have supply and demand very close to each other. There's nothing to do, right? Even though if I do get a signal, I wouldn't trade it just because it's just so choppy, right? I needed one of the zones to be cleared out and there's room for another zone for my target. There's nothing to do for me here at all on the ES on the 5 minute. And on the 15 minute, it hit the zone here. So this is the 15 minute on the ES. Let's see what happens here, right? If it breaks this, you have to go through here. And you see this blue bar right here so this is the 15, this blue bar right here. That's a lot of volume right there traded, right? So if you're a seller and you sold there and you missed out on that short, there could be sellers sitting there to take up that to take out the buyers. So yeah, there's nothing to do here on the ES for me anyway. NQ. So the 15-minute on the NQ looks a lot better. You do have a zone here, right? You do have a zone right here. It's not obvious, but it's right here, right? It has to fight through all that. Let's see if it takes out this zone right here on the NQ on the 5-minute. See if it takes it out. If it does, it's going to come up to here next. 99.75 right here. If it does break this. Yeah, but there's sellers there, right? Somebody's trying to sell it. Now this would be interesting if there's a long signal here, right? So what do I do with the long signal here? On the 5-minute here, there might be a long signal here. So maybe not now, right? It might create a short signal now because do you see the zone on the 5-minute, right? I told you it has to break through this. It couldn't do it, right? So someone's selling, and take a look at the POC on this bar, right? It's the top of the bar, so you know, trap trader maybe. Okay, there's a short here on. There's a short signal on the ES. I can't take that because it has to clear. This zone wasn't broken, so I would not take in this short. I can't take this short either on the NQ because this zone here is huge, right? It didn't break it out. So if this bar here, the current bar that's running right now, breaks this zone, this is an invalid short signal, right? Yeah, I can't take that ES short either because there's the zone underneath it, right? So we'll see how this plays out. Again, it's going to be a chop fast, I think, right here, back and forth, just because there's a supply, demand here, supply, demand on the ES. So there's nothing for me here. So if you guys rewind back to where I took that long right here, right, there was no resistance whatsoever, right? So that's the reason why I took that long. But here it's kind of tough. So that's a short signal. So this is a short signal on a short on the ES. If this bar can hold, right? And this is a short signal on the NQ. So take a look what's going to happen here when it tries to test the POC on this signal bar, right? Does it go right through it, or does it get rejected? Okay, so this is an invalid short, right? Because it broke the bar. It never came and hit our entry if we took an entry there, right? And same thing here on the NQ. It hasn't broken yet. So you'll see the strategy, right? If you look at this strategy here, this is the NQ5. This is the automated strategy right here that's going to go short, right? So if it breaks this bar, this strategy will automatically close out the short position. but I'm not gonna take it anyway on my personal account just because there's a lot of demand zone down here, right? So for me, it's not good, but for their strategy, it is. Okay, so do you see how the strategy automatically just cancels it once it breaks the entry bar? So now we wait. So I think the ES will fill this gap here, 5771 and 3/4 right here. I think it's gonna go and fill this gap. NQ has a long ways to go, right? NQ has a gap right here at 2029.75, right? So there's a gap right there. All right, so there's two big zones that's coming up here, right? This one here on the 15, and it happens to coincide with the exact same first zone on the 5-minute, which is a very good confluence, right? Look at the volume here. You see the blue lines here? These are a lot of volume traded right there at the price. And you'll see a blue line here on the 15. This blue line right here, that's a lot of volume traded there before it went down. So we'll see if there's a sellers still sitting here. It's gonna touch this. This is a cheap short here. Your stop will be just above that, but the problem is your stop is where where the gap is, right? So a little bit risky, but we'll see what happens here on the 15 here. We'll just watch it. I think it's gonna hit it and reject it. Comes back down to here on the ES. And Q here, it's coming into a zone right here. It's so extended right now on the 5. So here, I'm more interested on the ES here on this side here, just because there's a zone here, a lot of volume at this zone right here. Right, this blue line right here that you see here, that's a lot of volume traded before it went down. So look at this demand zone, how it just used as a massive support level here on the ES, right? On the NQ, sorry. Now, if there's a signal that goes short here on the ES, well, not the ES because there's a POC here on the 5, but on the NQ, no, I can't do the NQ either because there's going to be a massive zone right here. It's going to get generated. So yeah, it's tough to short here. But this is a cheap short on the ES here. I like this short here. So this level here is a good short. A lot of volume traded right there. A lot of volume. So there's a lot of volume traded here, but it came down. It kind of broke it, right? And then tried to come back. But let's see what happens here. This is more interesting actually on the ES. Now there's a gap zone right here, right? There's a gap right here. That red line. ES likes to fill gaps here. So if you take this short, it's not it's a little bit risky in the sense that everybody's looking at that gap, right? This red line. But there's a lot of volume here to go short, and there's a zone here, right? It also coincides with the 5-minute, right? If you look at the 5-minute, happens to be the exact same zone. Right here, a lot of volume there. Do you see that blue? A lot of volume here as well. So here we go. I want to see this actually. I'm not going to take the trade here, but because I don't have a signal, right? Here we go. It's going to test the zone here. Okay, this is probably going to be a short signal here on the NQ, NES here. Likely going to be a short. I will probably take the short on the NQ. Very tight stop though. So there's a rejection there. Hit that zone on the 5. Alright, there's probably going to be a short here. Yep, there it is. There's the signal. I'm going to take a stab here if it comes back. Alright, just going to put a stop right up here. Okay, I see a zone right here. All right, we're out. So I saw a zone there, but here's the auto trader, right? It took the short. It doesn't care about the zone, right? It's gonna hit a 1-to-1 ratio right here. I did see a zone right there. So the strategy will I missed it by a tick. Wow. Let's see what the strategy does actually. See if I'm right. Okay, you see buyers coming here on the 5-minute, right? You see the POC shifted, right? So this is the strategy here. It ignores the zone. It's probably gonna hit it right here. It missed it by a tick. Do you guys see that? That's crazy. I did see a volume here. I did see a lot of volume coming in right here where I exited it, right? Okay, so the strategy just for So it's target. All right, so this is how you kind of use the indicator, right? So I did see a zone, I did see a signal. I didn't see anything underneath it, right? That looked bad, right? Went ahead and took the short. My initial target was the zone here, which it hit, right? But again, I did see volume there. Happens to be hitting on the 76.4 fib retracement level there, if you guys can see that. All right, so I'm gonna be closing out in 5 minutes here. I don't trade after 11 or 8 o'clock my time. I have to actually go back to work here, so let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll probably actually stream tomorrow as well. So this is more, these live streams are more for people that want to see how the indicator works, right? And my reason for taking, you know, trades, right, based on the indicator, right? There's, even though it gives you a signal, it doesn't mean, for me anyway, it doesn't mean you should always take it, right? You kind of have to see where the zones are, right, where buyers are, where sellers are before you take it. So it looks like we're up about $500 today. Just taking 2 trades, right? One long on the NQ, one short on the NQ. So it looks like it's going to rotate backwards here. This zone held, interestingly, on the 5 minute, right? This zone right here held really nicely. Came up, touched it. No risk. I mean, no, there was very little risk here on this one because it never broke through this. So you see this bar here, this 5 minute buyer bar. This is basically trap trader, right? So this would be a long signal. Your target, your order would be on top of this bar here, but again, it never came up, right? So sellers stepped in and pushed it down. You got signal to go short here. Nice little short. You got signal to go short here, but it never triggered, right? Because this bar invalidated this short. So yeah, we took a long here, target there. We took a short here, target down here, right at the PLC. ES, I'm gonna keep it on ES, this level right here. 5766 level to see what happens. It came close, right? It came close to this level right here. It never touched it. So now sellers are kind of stepping in here. A lot of volume here, right? You see this blue stuff right here? A lot of volume being traded right here. NQ, not so much, right? I do see a big volume right there, spike right there. But yeah, not so much. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.